Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your host, Ish. Welcome back to another Just Like the Podcast episode. Before I get into this episode, I kind of want to start you guys off with the quote of the day. And today's quote is, "Do not speak bad of yourself, for the warrior within hears your words and is lessened by them." And pretty much my interpretation of that means just watch what you say to yourself, because I think your subconsciousness starts to pick it up and it becomes your reality. For example, if you say, "Oh, I'm having a bad day," then you're going to continue to have a bad day. So just watch what you say, people. But I have a special guest here today. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Is Eric right here join on Just Life the podcast?
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to talk about finding yourself. How do you feel about finding yourself, Eric?
I feel lost. Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, it depends on like how you ask that. Like, what do you really want to know about finding yourself and
Yeah, because I feel a lot of people are kind of lost. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they want to do. And I feel like we need to shed some light on this. I mean, not saying like I'm a master or guru, but I feel like I can help a little bit of people.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking you right now, how do you feel about where you are in life and knowing who you are?
Where I'm at in life and knowing who I am?
Yeah.
I feel like I barely discovered. I'm 25 years old, by the way, everybody. I feel like I barely discovered myself. Probably. What are we in? We're in October 2020. I feel like I discovered myself December 2019. So I mean, time. Don't worry about the time, you guys. I know people get rushed because they're like 19, 20, 21, 22, and they're trying to find answers and they're trying to rush through life. But you just got to go through it, man. I feel a lot better because I finally figured out what I got going on and what I'm doing. Pretty much, I found myself, is what I'm trying to say.
You found your purpose.
I found my purpose, and when you find your purpose, you start moving really differently, and it's really awesome. What about you?
I just want to get back to something you said earlier. Like we're young. People are in their 20s. They're 25, 20, 23, 21, whatever. It doesn't matter. And yeah, you're not supposed to believe everything you see on the internet. But I saw something that I found pretty interesting. I found this thing that said something along the lines of, like, people back then, like in the early 1900s, they used to believe that by the time we reached this age, we were supposed to have everything figured out.
Yeah.
Most people had families, and this was sort of based on a model where, like, people didn't even live too far into their 50s or 60s. They died pretty early. So the expectancy of life was lessened. Now,
yeah. A whole 40 years, probably 50.
yeah, and now people live a lot longer. So we have more time. And I think with that being said, people our age, you shouldn't feel rushed to find who you are or have kids or all this stuff. We have time.
Yeah, because I feel like it makes a lot of people depressed.
Yeah.
And I myself was a victim to this situation too for the longest.
Yeah, there's a lot of societal pressure behind finding yourself. Not even only finding yourself, just to do something.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, they don't even find themselves. They just do something for the pressure of it, and they think they're good.
Yeah.
And yeah, they could be successful, but is it really what they want to be doing?
Yeah, that was me, and I'll give a perfect example. I went to a trade school. Like, I was kind of good at working at cars. I mean, I'm pretty decent on working on cars, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I just knew I had to do something because I felt as if I was rushed or pressured to do something at an early age. Otherwise, I'm kind of viewed as a loser from society, family, etc. So I went to this trade school just to, get certified to be a certified mechanic, and it wasn't something I really wanted to do, but I was being pressured by society because I was I was just trying to find myself pretty much, and when you try to force it, it just doesn't work, and then you're left unhappy. Thank God I quit that school.
How old were you then at the time?
I was young, dude. I was like, I was either 20 or 21, one of those.
Yeah.
What age was? Yeah, like 20 or 21.
Yeah, and I feel like that's still pretty young. A lot of
Yeah,
people, even like for the most part, after high school, you
yeah,
you turn 18. Your parents tell you, school tells you, everyone tells you, go to college,
literally
figure it out. You
straight,
have
and
to
they want you to go straight after school, after high school to go to school again,
into finding a career,
and
a
they force
career
you.
for the most part. I think the way most people interpret a career is something you're going to be doing the rest of your life.
Yeah,
And me personally speaking, shit, I can't say I've had multiple careers or anything. Let's not even talk about that. I feel like I'm 24, and I already feel like I've had multiple different lifetimes.
I
I've
feel
done
like that
different things
too.
that excite me. I've done different things that um, they're just different areas of my life that I feel like I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah,
And I do not know how I would feel having a career doing the same thing where like is it just doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, I feel that. There's many things I want to do in my life. One story that I got is with my nephew. The kid's 14 or 15 years old, and the mom is pressuring him to figure out what he wants to do with his life at 14, 15 years old. And I'm like, that sounds insane. I'm 25, and I just figured out what I wanted to do.
As far as
So
I'm concerned,
I think family plays a huge role
yeah,
in
yeah,
society.
it really does. There's a lot of pressure from family. There's a lot of pressure from friends. You can be, our age. We're 24, 25, and we see people having cars. We see people having certain
Literally.
things, and it's not even about having these material things or being at a certain point in your life. Like things could look good on the outside, but getting a car, if you have a job, if you have a 9 to 5, I highly doubt you paid that car off already. Like there's debt behind that. It's not even your car yet, you know. So
It's a smoke screen.
yeah, it's a smoke screen, and like even with these material items, I don't think people have truly found who they are.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all a facade.
Me personally, giving an example similar to what Ishmael just gave right now, I am 24 years old. Um, I spoke about this on another podcast I had with you. I'm working a 9 to 5. I've done different things in my life, and I'm at a point now where like I really know what I want to do.
Right.
I feel like there's nothing that excites me more than the direction that I'm moving in. Right. So I feel like that's one of the areas that greatly ties into finding yourself. What excites you?
Yeah, and with what you're doing, it's not something that someone else expected you to do. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like you had to find this out on your own.
yeah,
Because I feel like family or parents, they like to tell you
yeah. They
what to
carve out a path
do.
for you.
Yeah, 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 exactly. They carve out a path for you, and then that leads to depression, anxiety. It leads to a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, usually there's a fork in the road, and it's funny. Like I found this out from this show called The Big Bang Theory. I forgot what the hell this theory was about exactly, but it was something along the lines of like if you put a donkey between two haystacks that are equally apart from each other,
Uh-huh.
the donkey will starve to death because he won't be able to decide which um, hay barrel to go to.
Do you think a
You know,
donkey would really do that though?
I don't fucking know.
But that was the analogy. Okay.
Yeah, that's the analogy, and like at a certain point in life, we get caught um, in a fork in the road. Do we want to choose our own path, or do we want to choose the path that our parents carved out for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a really tough
It
choice.
might be hard for some people though, because some people that like they'll have like a family business and then they need to continue the
Mm,
family
yeah.
business. Because like I was talking to this one kid, and pretty much long story short, he was going to school so he could work for his dad's business because he would have
Mm,
to take that up. But he told me he really enjoyed cooking. That's what he'd rather be doing.
yeah.
So what do you think someone like that in that position should be doing?
I think, like I said earlier, you have different lifetimes, right? Um, I feel like sometimes certain things guide you towards where you need to be in life.
Like a building block, like
Yeah, it's a building block. It's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know. So if there's already a business that comes with a sort of a generational wealth, it's something that can be handed down. It's not a bad idea to move in that direction at first, but if you can take over it and manage it in a certain way to where you don't even need to be there anymore and you could profit from it, receive that income without having to deal with it,
I see.
you can move in the direction that you want to, it's kind of like you got to learn to crawl before you learn to run,
I see. I see.
And that's just my outlook on it. But even then, like, it's not always the route you have to take. Like, shit, if you find yourself in a position where you really know what you want to do,
yeah,
just do what you want to do. Be yourself.
Finding yourself. Yeah, because I feel like I'm making this podcast for people that are transitioning from a teenager into an adult. So hopefully you guys get what you can out of this podcast. Because I know it's kind of hard growing up and not knowing what you want to do, and then you have a lot of people around you knowing what you wanted to do. Because when I was in high school, like, there was some kids already that already knew what they wanted to do, and I was like, damn, I'm a loser. This guy knows what he wants to do already. Like, this guy has it set, and I'm just gonna fall behind. It's like, damn, what am I doing with my life? And it's harder for me because, like, I kind of wanted to do something like rad. Like, I didn't want the normal thing.
I feel like that ties in very well into the way that you started this podcast today. Like, if you speak badly of yourself, at a certain point, you're going to be lost.
Yep.
Speaking badly of yourself, it loses your direction.
Yeah, and I know that sounds like kind of corny or whatever, you guys, but this is real life, man. Like, you are your reality. You choose what reality you want. Because I know, like, a lot of people, they like to give their own personal experience and go, like, for example, they might say, like, oh, you don't want to do that job because that job's hard. No, that job was hard for you. That doesn't mean it's going to be hard for me. And a lot of people like to force their reality into your reality. But just make sure you take it with a grain of salt, because you're a whole different person. You're not them. You're in a whole nother body. You got a whole nother mind. You're a whole different human being. So whatever someone forces upon you, take it with a grain of salt or grain of sand, whatever that saying is.
If you don't mind me asking you right now, I feel like you and me are both in a position where we really know what we want to do.
Yeah.
And just so that your audience kind of knows a little bit, what sort of is it that has helped you find who you are? If not that, then who are you? What is it that you like? What direction are you moving in?
I realized I like doing a lot of things.
You like staying busy.
Huh?
You like staying busy.
I guess it's what comes with it. Because, like, I was listening to somebody ask somebody this question. They said, do what makes you happy. And I'm like, damn, what makes me happy? Because everybody has their job where, like, oh, I work for SpaceX, so I work on rockets, and that makes me happy, and it makes me income, so I like doing it. Or, oh, I like being a doctor, and that makes me happy. I like helping people, and that makes me happy. I was like, damn, what do I like? And I thought about it. I was like, dude, I like having fun.
Yeah. That's
what I like. I like having a thrill. That's why I skate. That's why, I don't know, I surf. That's why I like to travel. I just like being thrilled. But
that's why you jumped out of an airplane this year.
That's why I jumped out of an airplane. I went skydiving at the beginning of this year. I just like having fun, but unfortunately, having fun costs. So you need to make money, right? Yeah. But I also like making videos too. So I don't know. I like making YouTube videos or whatever. Recently, I guess I'm going the real estate route because I feel like that's the way to go. And I don't know. I'm just trying to set myself up so I'm good, so that way I can continue having fun, because that's what I like to do.
I mean, I'm not sure if your audience would find it discouraging based off of how you said it right now, but, just let me make it clear to everyone. I've spoken to Ishmael, and I've seen how excited he gets about when he's talking about real estate. It's not necessarily about, like, oh, I just kind of feel like that's the way to go. It's I know that there's something in his gut telling him this is the path, this is the way to go, you know.
You know what? I realized that too, because I get pretty geeked up in that stuff when I talk about it too.
Yeah.
I was like, that might be one of my passions. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. Follow your gut too. Not like
Yeah, it doesn't like you just don't get that feeling for no reason. Like it's something there. It's the angels guiding you. Whatever it is. But
Yeah.
like I'm a huge believer of following your gut because most of the time it's real.
Yeah, I feel like this one's gonna sound kind of corny too, but like follow all of it. Shit, if your heart tells you, if your gut tells you, then that's what you got to do. That's your path.
To be honest, right?
And you got to take that risk too, because a lot of people are gonna tell you the opposite. Don't do it. Don't go that way. It's not the way to go. They probably haven't even taken the risk themselves.
Yeah, people like to speak on stuff they haven't done before. It's like kind of like I'm not taking information from nobody that hasn't like had experienced or I don't know, man. I like one example is like, let's say your head hurts and you go to a dentist. Like, why are you gonna go to the dentist? You need to be going to a doctor. The dentist isn't going to help you. He doesn't know anything about that, nor is that person experiencing that. So why would you go to that? So I don't know. I mean, go with whatever you want to do, but if you go to someone, make sure they at least kind of know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
In a sense. Yeah, I don't know. I completely forgot where I was going with that, but yeah.
I have another question for you. I feel like it's important to address finding yourself. Yeah, but without knowing who you are, there had to be a point in time where you probably felt very, very lost.
Yeah, for sure. Man, to anybody that knew me from probably 17 all the way up until 24, I was the most miserable person. It's like, dude, if you have no direction, then life kind of sucks. If you don't know what you're doing. And I thought about this the other day, too, actually. Like, people are scared of what they don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Let's
definitely.
say an alien comes here. You're going to be fucking scared as fuck. You don't know what the alien is.
Yeah.
So you get scared. And it's kind of the same thing with life. Is like, you don't know what you're doing. So you get scared. Therefore, causes depression and anxiety. People are scared of what they don't know. And I was thinking about that yesterday, too. I'm like, damn, you know what? That's what it is right there.
Yeah.
People are scared of what they do not know. And not gonna lie, because that was me. I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know what was going on. Created a whole bunch of depression, anxiety. But I don't know. Just keep moving forward, pretty much. Don't give up. There's this quote that this real estate billionaire likes to say. His name is Grant Cardone. He says, if you never quit, you can never fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that saying a lot. Do what you like to do, but at the same time, try to find ways. And when an opportunity comes your way, you got to move fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. When an opportunity comes your way, you got to move fast.
Yeah. And if that's not even it, then you got to make opportunities for yourself.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because I feel like you and I are both at that point now.
Yeah.
Like, we've had opportunities. Maybe we missed them. Maybe we just didn't want to take them. I don't know. But we're at a point in life where we're making opportunities for ourselves, and I feel like that, personally speaking, that's another thing about me knowing who I am now.
Yeah.
It's I'm not looking for anyone else's direction. I feel like
Or approval.
or approval. I feel like I got it in my gut, I got it in my heart, and that's my compass.
Yeah.
That's my guidance system right now. I'm gonna do what I want, how I want to do it, and I'm gonna take command and take charge of my life, ultimately speaking.
Literally.
So, given that you did feel sort of lost before
Dude, I was
you reached
so lost.
Before you reach where you are right now, how do you feel like you got out of it?
Like I said, once opportunities come, you gotta move fast. I don't know. It can be like something as little as just having a talk with somebody, or something significant happening in your life that seems tragic at the time being, but is most definitely a building block. Because it takes something tragic for people to change. I don't know.
I don't know how comfortable you feel saying it. I mean, it's your podcast, and I'm asking questions here, but I already know what it is. But if you want to share with the audience, you know what one of those obstacles was, like what position were you in?
Yeah, one obstacle. Okay. So yeah, I went through a really bad breakup, and then I just kind of felt like I was really upset and lost at the time being. I was on. I don't want to say I was on suicide watch.
But it was a domino effect for you, right?
Yeah, it was something that changed my life significantly. Like my whole perspective changed. And then it took something as big as that. I mean, what it like for me it was a breakup. For somebody it could be something else. But for specifically me personally, it was a breakup that I had, and it just shifted my entire mindset. All I knew is that I wanted to be the best person I could be, and I started looking up stuff to become a better person, and new good traits to have, and yeah, like for example, I'm consistent in the gym. I eat good. I read books. I took on new hobbies. I had time for different things. It can be, I don't know, something like a breakup that could change your whole mindset and just shift everything.
Would you say that now you feel inspired for something else?
As far as what?
Like you said, you're working on yourself. You're going to the gym. You're doing all these things. You feel like there's something inspiring you, like a deep motivation behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of gave me a huge drive. I mean, I've always had a drive. Not to bring like zodiac signs into this or astrology, but like, I'm an Aries. We're known to be the hardest workers in the astrology game. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, yeah, I've always had like a huge drive growing up, and then like when something significant happens like that in my life, like I like to convert that energy and turn that into all drive. I like to take something bad and like again, not to bring astrology into this, but like I read somewhere when an Aries gets really hurt, they're like so hurt. But it's cool because what they do with that hurtness, they just convert it into drive, and then that just like pushes them and takes them super duper far.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever drives your train, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like there's so many things. Like I was a terrible student, and that doesn't even have anything to do with my intellect. And I'm not trying to sound pretentious here or anything, but regardless of school, I feel like I've always had it in me. I've always had more.
Right. Right.
And even then, like, shit, when I didn't graduate high school on time, I know I disappointed the shit out of everybody.
I feel that.
The people that surround you, they have a huge impact on how
man.
lost you feel, your direction, and stuff like that. But once you, sort of blurred that noise out and, focus on yourself and your own inner thoughts and who you are, not who they're telling you who you are. Because you're going to hear it a lot. You're going to hear people tell you who they think you are.
Yeah.
You can't listen to that. If you even if it's deep down, even if it's sort of buried 6 feet under, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
There's something in you that knows who you are.
This goes back to going with your gut, because like when I was going to that trade school, like I just knew I was in school and I knew this wasn't it. I knew I was destined for so much more. I couldn't accept it or face facts. I was like, this isn't it. Like I was like, wow, so I'm just gonna be a mechanic for the rest of my life. That's it. My family and society's happy. I'm not happy, but my family and society's happy. I was like, nah, man, this isn't it. Like I didn't even feel right. Like this goes back to your gut feeling. Like follow your instincts because it's telling you something. And I'm glad I followed my instincts. And I'm pretty sure, like how Eric said, I disappointed the shit out of a lot of people. But you know what? I'm way more happier now. And I'm working on a whole lot more things than if I were to have settled. So, I don't know. Follow your instincts.
Yeah, I feel like me, where I'm at in life right now, it's I've come a long way. I
Yeah.
was, you know, I I really felt like I was the epitome of disappointment to my family.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
that just sounds like damn, you know, but I
Yeah.
really felt that way. And now it's like, you know, I pulled myself out of the hole. Maybe a lot of you have heard this, maybe you haven't, but when you're at your lowest point, you know, that's you reach the bottom. The only way to look up, the only way to look now is up,
Yep.
you know? And I really feel like shit, that's how sort of how my story went.
Yeah.
A lot of failure.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I hit rock bottom too before things started looking up, man.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody has to go through that.
And sometimes maybe not. Sometimes, you know, people
Or
instantly off the bat know.
or like how you said, like off the air, like a wise man. You want to say the quote?
What did I say?
A wise man learns from
Oh yeah,
his
a wise
mistakes.
man learns from his mistake. A wiser man learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah, I love that quote because it's so true.
Yeah. And people don't take that into consideration. I feel like
They don't.
when you're young, man. And
Yeah,
like,
I know I didn't.
I find it so funny how like this really is how it works, and like generations and generations speak about this.
Yeah.
You know, like the older people will try to tell you, you know, don't do that, and I feel like it's kind of contradictory, like to what we've been talking about, you know, during the podcast. But
Yeah.
you know, there is some universal truth to what elders will tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um,
But
And
if you feel it ain't right, then it ain't right.
yeah,
I mean, like, I feel like just for like the basic stuff, but it's like as far as like pursuing yourself and finding yourself, then you know, I feel like the rules can change a little bit.
yeah. There's always loopholes. There's always ways around certain things, but you know, there are some universal truths that. Here's one thing: if you hear it from multiple sources, there must be
There must be some kind of truth,
some kind of
right?
truth behind it. But you know, another thing too is like if they're being like real deal negative Nancy's about that shit, and they're in your ear like, oh, that's you're gonna fail,
Yeah.
you're trash. You know, you keep that shit out, get that shit
Yeah.
away. You know.
And that's crazy, yeah, because I mean, like, so I've been going to the gym a lot, and then everybody's been telling me, oh, you're getting swole, you're getting swole. So I guess I must be getting swole. And that makes me happy to hear because I've been putting in a lot of work.
You know, another thing too is when you're putting in the work, when you're doing what you got to do, you're gonna hear it, because people are gonna notice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been hearing a lot of things lately. It's been, I don't know, once you find yourself and discover your purpose on this planet, I think that's when you become unstoppable.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't, I like, dude, like, it's insane. I just walk with so much confidence now. It's insane.
That's another thing too. Like once you find who you are, you sort of build this confidence, this joy, this, you know, just ultimate positivity.
And people can see it and they can feel it. It's very strong.
And then you radiate that energy, and maybe hopefully you can spread it to other people.
Yeah, man, pay it forward for real.
Another thing too about finding yourself, and I think this is a very good one, because like there's nothing new under the sun. Let me tell you that. And if you're scared of originality, if you want to be somebody that stands out, fine. Let that be part of your character, not necessarily things that you do. Yeah, don't be a fucking straight up copycat either. But let me say, surround yourself with the kind of people that you want to be.
Yeah. Because I
That's
noticed that too. Like, you are who you hang out with. And I noticed, like, when I hang around people that are on the same subjects as me or have somewhat similar goals as me, like, everything's good. But when you just hang out with someone, like, quite the opposite, it affects you. Bad thoughts are just entering your mind, or your mind's not getting stimulated properly. And, I don't know. It's just watch who you hang out with, man. That's a really big ordeal.
yeah. Just who you surround yourself with is a big part of
Major key.
finding yourself. Like when you surround yourself with people who are doing things that you want to do, it makes it easier for you to sort of like you're constantly inspired. You're constantly
constantly on go mode, man.
Yeah, you're on go mode.
Pretty much don't hang out with bad people, man, because they influence your decisions and ideas. Because hanging out with somebody that has no goals or aspirations, it really does truly affect you, man.
It'll keep you there. And even if you're the kind of person that does have goals and aspirations, like even if you try to drive these people, if they want to do it, they're going to do it whenever, that switch turns off in their head, it's ultimately going to be up to them. It's going to be on their time.
Yeah.
But if you know it's time to move, then you got to go.
Yeah.
It's like shit. If you're a wise man and let me use a random ass little analogy here. Let's say you're one of the wise men in the village.
Uh-huh.
You learned it from, somebody that passed these things down. And the river's going to flood your village and you tell everybody, shit, it's time to go. But they say, nah, I'm comfortable here. This is my house. This is my home.
Yeah.
You're going to pick up your shit, some of your belongings, and it may feel a little uncomfortable to settle somewhere new.
Yeah.
But you're going to be better off because these motherfuckers are drowning.
Yeah.
So, shit.
Damn, that's true. That's true. It's kind of like the book, I think it's called Who Got My Cheese? Have you heard of it?
No. Tell me something about that.
It's pretty much about these two humans and two rats. They're in a maze, and they're just comfortable. Like, the humans have their cheese. Like they go inside the maze, they're like, oh yeah, turn left, turn right, the cheese is right here, and eventually they run out of cheese. And then the humans, they're like, oh man, there's no cheese. Let's go look for some more cheese. And that's pretty much like an analogy with life is like, like let's say you go through a breakup. Oh, breakup, you're not with the girl no more. Like, go move on. Like, find something new. And that's pretty much what the humans did. They went to go look for new cheese and they found new cheese. And then the rats, they were still stuck there like, man, where's my cheese? Who took my cheese? Like, where's it at? I can't believe it's not here no more. Oh my gosh, life is horrible. And they don't want to move on. But one of the rats is like, hey man, like if we stay here, like we're gonna die. We need to go find new cheese. And then one of them went to go search for new cheese, and the other one didn't want to listen because he was stuck in the same place. Like, nah, man, my cheese is supposed to be here. Who took my cheese? And then eventually the rat, he found the other rat that went looking for cheese. He found new cheese or whatever, and then he came back and told the other guy, and the other rat, and then yeah, they got new cheese. So it's pretty much saying like, when something happens in life, you gotta move, man.
I feel like we're coming into a universal theme here. Like, in life, you're gonna be in one place, but eventually you gotta hit the road.
Yeah, literally.
You gotta
man.
move.
Stuff is always changing in life. Like, it's either gonna get better or it's gonna get worse, but for sure it's not gonna stay the same, man.
And if you're trying to find yourself, you're not gonna find yourself in the same place you've been for a really long time. You gotta get up. You gotta move. You gotta do these things.
You gotta make decisions.
Here's another little quote that I like. You could be on the right track, but if you don't get that train going, you're never gonna get to where you need to be.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said earlier, when opportunities come up, you gotta move fast.
Yep. And even if there's a fork in the road, even if there's obstacles in the way, one of the important things is to keep on moving. You got to find yourself. I feel like there's no real way for us to give people a how to find yourself,
Yeah.
But shit, even if, we're not huge influences in their life, the very least that we could do is, maybe carve out a little bit of path for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw them a stepping stone. Give a dog a bone.
Help a brother out. Yeah. You got anything else to say before we end this podcast? About finding yourself?
Just keep it moving.
Just keep it moving.
Stay. And even if you don't keep it moving, even if you find something that you're comfortable with, you gotta know eventually, like, nothing lasts forever.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
you can build an empire. But shit, you read all the history books in the world. All these empires, all these kingdoms.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Change is inevitable. Accept change. Look for change. Actively seek change. Yeah, embrace it. And, ultimately, you'll find yourself. Another thing, too, take what information you will from others,
And this podcast.
Yeah, take what information you will from others, but negativity, don't allow it. Don't allow it into your life.
I haven't really allowed it in my life lately, and it's been so nice, guys. I'm not even joking. Life's good, man.
But another thing too is like sometimes you got to know you're lost in order to find yourself. Like we said earlier, like when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to look but up.
Yep.
That's not always the case, though. I'm not telling you guys fucking drink yourself to rock bottom. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all I have to say. You got anything else?
Yeah, just go with your gut feeling. Change comes, embrace it. Opportunities come, move fast, and don't let society, influence your decisions, or family as well. And just do what you got to do and move forward. And on that note, I think I'm going to end the podcast. If you guys made it to the end of the podcast, I truly do appreciate you guys. If you guys have any comments or concerns, the Instagram is Just Life Podcast. And I do upload every week, so I'll go ahead and see you guys next week. Later, guys.
Later, everybody.